Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to pre-weekly open, Sunday evening in my part of the world, and we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, ready for the weekly open market review tomorrow. Just going to be a short update. Thanks to my sponsors, BingX, incredible exchange that I trade on. Couple of things that I love about them, I've mentioned before. You can trade directly on TradingView, log into connect your account. It's just an excellent feature. And the other thing I enjoy is the fact that they have all the indices markets, forex markets, commodities. So you can use your USDT and trade crude, gold, natural gas, or AUD, euro, yen. It's superb, wonderful. Um, if you want to sign up, use the link in the bio, Tyler Durden, and you'll get up to $4,000 deposit bonus plus 20% off fees lifetime. Um, anyway, let's take a look at Bitcoin. So, weekly, okay, weekly chart. How are we doing this week? Well, this range has been important for us for a number of weeks now. You can go back on the YouTube videos. If you're new, welcome. If you've been around a while, thank you. I'm almost at 6,000 followers. Or subscribers, should I say. Um, I appreciate every single one of you, every single comment. But if you're new, go back and look at the old videos. We've had this range marked out for a while, okay? Catch up, get you up to speed on where we are, what we're up to, and why these levels are important. Now, something that is standing out to me first on the weekly chart is the swing fails. So, high formed, boom, we took it out. Okay, closed below the range level. Traded up again, taking out previous week's high once more. So we now have a triple swing. Now, if you remember, I've done this is a strategy on my YouTube. You can find it in the price action education playlist. I shorted the market up here, called the top on the altcoin market. I don't know if it's a full-time top, but well, I don't know if it's a top before a trend or just a short-term top. Either way, we got involved on Ape, and the reason we got involved is because um, there was a high formed, taken out, closed below SFP, taken out, closed below SFP. So I found a short position, risk at the high. Go find the lesson, watch it, study it, and learn about it, and you'll probably be able to make good use of it. I think in the current climate, finding a bias on the weekly time frame is going to be important for you. Using the higher time frames to find trend reversals is a no-brainer. Go back and look at the Bitcoin history. If you had have stayed on the weekly chart, you'd have probably made a lot more money than if you dropped to the hourly chart because it was clear as day. Okay. Um, each cycle has been fairly clean and clear on higher time frames. Now we have a triple swing. So we're taking out one high, bang. Taking out another high, bang. It's closing SFP unless it closes. The candle body has to close above. Okay. Otherwise, it's a swing fail. And now this might actually close below the range low, which would give me even more incentive to be very, very bearish on this market. And you look at what happened previously, two up moves, so two down moves, two up moves, two down moves, two up moves. Does that continue, that pattern? Does that repeat? If so, we've got two down moves coming. We know we're on a current downtrend. Is that going to accelerate? Are we in the process of, meeting our downtrend move, or a further downside move? I find it really, really difficult to believe that this is now the bottom with how close we are. I, I was of the opinion around here that there was a bottom forming, and we had a big bounce from a 17 to 25. 25 nailed the top off, right? Um, Now we've fully reversed that. I'm not sure why it needed to come back down here if the bottom was there, especially how close it is. I mean, we're really talking like that is the last low left apart from this one. So a lot remains to be done by the bulls to find some strength in this market. We are coming up to 4 months in this range though, okay? And you go back on the chart and look at, you obviously can't on this chart, but if you go back on the chart and look at Bitcoin in 2018, no, I think it was November to April, it was a horrible time to trade it, but it's not far off the distance. Do you know what? We're going to bring that up now. This is what this video is about, isn't it? It's educational, so let's take a look. I'm going to find myself. How do I do that again? There we go. So we're currently at 117 days in this range. Okay. Now, if we go to XBT USD and we go back to here, I would say we entered the range. And I mean, this could be. I think that was the violent move. I think probably that first candle straight after. And then you would say we left it when the impulsive move happened, so we won't go that far. 131 days, we're 2 weeks away from the same period within this bottoming pattern. The only difference is this was boring as fuck, if you don't mind my French. Um, this was fucking traumatic, to be honest. I traded it with Trader Main, Exo SE, because a few of us in it, Cred, Donald, and it was, I think Donald stepped back and just bought the bottom. He just bought the bottom of this in Ethereum, but we traded it, and it was a fucking nightmare. Honestly, it felt like it was 10 years. That's what it felt like. There was no volume, and as you can see in these candles, there's nothing. You wait 8 days for a one move, you know, flat. Then you get a little drop, and you're like, go for the low. No, it was very yeah, very intense, and made for quite a lot of PTSD as we were coming into 2019 and we had the echo bubble. But we are here where we are now, and we've got 14 days before we match the time in that low. Now, let's come back to my point. Rather than this history lesson, you don't need that. I'm sure many of you are around and you understand. If this closes an SFP, it increases the probability, based upon the strategy, that we will trade towards the mid-range of the previous week, which was sitting right on top of it now. So either, if we're going to use the strategy, we need to trade a little bit higher, okay, and short it into the mid-range because we're sitting right on top of it, okay, and that could come in the form of, and this is just an example for that strategy, not my particular trading plan, but you know, it's possible that we could fill up that gap into here and then look for the short straight into the mid-range. That's possible. I'll decide tomorrow if I'm going to use the strategy, and if I do, I'll let you know on the weekly open video. But at the moment, I think because of the value and the yield that this trade would offer, I think I need a little bit more from it than I will get. I don't think it will trade too high for me to be able to get into a decent short. So I'm not too sure at the moment, but it's worth noting that there's been 3 swing fails. Now, daily. Key level, okay? Macro SR. Now, this level for me is the most important on the chart because it is my line in the sand. Now, I've had this up there for a week or so, right? Okay, it's support around here. I like to make my levels clean so that there's hardly any candle closes above and they're respected with the touches of the wicks. So you had there was the close underneath. That gave us the retest, 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 and it didn't close above until here, and it backtest ripped straight into the high. We've fully retraced that move now back into the origin of the move, which means that's a common gap. Now, I'm not sure what if we've retraced it because we're bearish or it is simply a rounded retest almost at the base of the move, which could well be that this is the higher low, as was this high, 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 high. It could well be that a higher low forms here, but it would need to get back above macro SR. Okay, so we're going to talk about that level now because that is the most important part for me. That needs to be recovered. If we get back above, okay, with the close on the daily, increase the probabilities of this being the low. But as it stands right now, we have to listen to the market and what it's telling us. And it is below support. Okay, it's broken support, it's traded through it, it's retested it, and it's starting to look like after a period of accumulation here, it's pushed up, swept the highs out, didn't quite take this high out, and it's a failure pattern, okay, or a deviation, or an over and under, whatever you want to call it. Okay, it looks like that is the top at the moment. It needs to be invalidated and quickly. So we're going to work with the idea that that could be, or that the probability of it is stronger. Okay, so I'm short until this level gets reclaimed. Now, how am I going to get into a position? So first things first, here is the level from last week's videos. Support, okay, support. There's a failure to break down, gets back above, bounce, takes the highs out, fills the gap, comes back into the level, little bouncy ball, break down, takes out the lows, gets back inside, back above the level, rip, takes out highs, takes out previous week's highs. It's traded back into the level now, okay, with a sweep of a low. Now, although it's starting to look strong here, it is a Sunday and it is a final day of the weekly candle. I wouldn't get too overexcited about the current price action. And I think there's something that stands out for me here, which is I have a rule of thumb that the same fractal on the same screen it lowers the probability to near zero. Okay, it's never impossible, but it's nearer to zero than it is to likely. And currently what we have here is something very similar. This channel here looks like this channel here, and then you had a sweep of the low, sweep of the low, and the outcome it was a big ripper, okay, a big ripper magoo, and this one doing that I think is a very low probability. So what are the other outcomes? Well, there's only two directions the market can go in, right? Up or down. I mean, of course it could go sideways, but that doesn't last forever. Um, so it's either down or a little bit up then down. And this is the one I favor. Okay, so my plan for the week, if things stay as they are, we're below Monday's high. It looks like a clear failure to break above there. A distribution top, double top. Okay. If we can trade back into the Monday, sorry, yes, that is Monday high. Sorry, yes, I was just checking the day. That is Monday high. If we can trade back into Monday's high, taking out all these highs from the weekend. Okay, so if I bring in the sessions, and you can see we have Saturday's highs in there. Maybe we trade into the mid-range of Friday's price action, which lines up nicely with Monday high. See the grey level? You see that grey level? Just in there. Nice confluence. Mid-range of Friday's price action. Breakdown. That gives me an area to place my stop. I need an invalidation. It would have taken out some highs. It would have traded into resistance. It would have been back below. Okay, it would have caught longs going for the retest entry. And it could have trapped them. And if it does start breaking down, I believe it will drag them fucking underwater quickly, and I'll be in, out, looking for lows, lows. Here was where the original move started, so this low, and then over here you have some equal lows. Okay, so that's the plan. We have CPI on Thursday. There's a lot of news this week. Keep up to date with it all because it will affect the market, and you can see this market is kind of hanging on the legacy markets price action. Um, there is some lag, or there is some front running, but generally speaking, it's following SPX to quite a strong correlation at the moment. That comes on and off as the weeks go on. It came off a few weeks ago. It's back on now. And take care. Thanks for joining the stream. See you tomorrow for the weekly open. At New York Open, it will be live. Goodbye.